How long does it take to become a construction worker? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the steps that you'll take, how long it typically takes, and things that you can do to improve your career and really make it, and then hopefully go on to other steps throughout your career. So becoming a construction worker can be an absolutely amazing thing. In fact, I really recommend it. I get probably the number one thing that people ask me is, how do I get into construction? How do I get work? How do I land a good position? I still feel like being a construction worker and the lead person and then foreman is a great way to work your way through. Construction companies are looking for competent people that they can promote. And I'll tell you a little bit about my story. So when I was 13 and a half, I think the statute of limitations has run out, so I don't think I can get in trouble for this. But illegally, when I was 13 and a half, I falsified a work permit to go work at a tilt-up company, and I cleaned the finishing tools and just did minor menial tasks, cleaned the truck, things like that. Then learned how to be a finisher, a form setter, and an equipment operator all throughout high school. And then I was able to get a job at Hensel Phelps as a cement mason in the unions in Southern California. So I was doing so well and was being noticed that they offered different positions. Like one of them was a rodman on the field engineer crew. And so I got to do that, then become a full-blown field engineer, then fully in construction management, and started to work my way through. So I could have continued with that small company and gone as far as I wanted. I could have been a journeyman cement mason in the union, which would have been great. Could have become a lead person or a foreman, or I could take any number of paths. But it was a method of entry for me into the construction industry, and as long as I worked hard and learned, it really worked out. And I think it can work out for anybody. So don't think you're getting stuck. First of all, there's nothing stuck about being a construction worker. Second of all, you can take it as far as you want. So let me just go ahead and talk about how long it takes to develop in some of these positions, and hopefully that will help you in your career. So number one, entry-level positions. This is great. You might be labor, you might be an apprentice, you might be just somebody brand new in the scope learning that specific skill. It's going to take you some weeks or months to get used to it. There's going to be some basic training. You're going to need to get familiar with the safety requirements, go through your orientation, really start to adapt and learn new skills. It will take some time. So this entry-level position with either formal or informal training can take a few months. This is where you learn the basics, hands-on, as you're taught by other workers. Step two, and this is an option, you can do this or you don't have to, but vocational training. This can be anywhere from 6 months to a year. This is where you enter a trade school or a technical college, and this is where you get hands-on and classroom experience for your trade specifically, and you'll achieve, in most cases, a certification at the end, and it will really help you accelerate and narrow, whether it's a couple of months or years off of the timeline it takes you to actually learn your skill, your trade. This is a wonderful option for you as you're learning to be a proficient worker in the trade. Number three, apprenticeships. I love this. Even before you start full-time, I love the idea of apprenticeships or full-time apprenticeships where the apprenticeship really means that you're learning and growing until you're competent to do it on your own. These apprenticeships typically take anywhere from 2 to 4 years. You're learning from a mentor, you're mastering your skill, you're putting these tools in your tool bag, you're learning them one by one, but by the time you're done, you're essentially a journeyman, you're essentially an expert, a proficient in your trade at what you do. Typically that's a 2 to 4 year timeline. Number four, there's also construction management degrees. However, typically if you're going to do that, you go straight into construction management. I don't quite often see that people with construction management degrees go off and be workers, although I do think it's a great experience. If everybody, whether it's architects, engineers, possibly even owners, but especially construction managers, and anybody working in construction would take the time to actually work and gain a skill, gain a trade in the field, it would be absolutely huge for our industry because people would have the fundamental knowledge, the mindset, and the connection to the craft. So it is an option to go do schooling, whether it's 1 to 2 years, associates or bachelor's degree and then go out and start your journey. Typically we don't see that, but it is an option. Number 5, one thing that you'll want to consider along your journey is to achieve any certifications. One of the things that I really recommend is either, if you're in the United States, OSHA 10 or OSHA 30 training. There are others that are simple enough, and what I mean by that is, you're smart and you've got it. That's not what I'm talking about. But simple enough to where it fits within your time frame, because you don't get a lot of time for study when you're working with your hands, to where you can advance and accelerate your career. One bit of advice for this is, if you are a worker or a lead person or a foreman and you do want to go into construction management, show some interest, start learning the technology, use computers, do certification programs, and show some initiative with that, and you will go far. So the timeline can vary, but let me just go ahead and give you my opinion. So that was all well researched, but let me give you my opinion. And by the way, if you like this, please like and subscribe. And if you have additional information, please comment below. But the bottom line is, if you're entry level, I believe it's going to take you about 3 to 6 months to get used to things. From the 6-month timeline to about 1.5 years, 2 years, and it can take 3 or 4, but this is your proficiency stage. This is where you're becoming very competent with how you perform your trade. You're going to want to be very skills-oriented, skills-focused in this timeline. Anywhere between the 1.5 years and 4 or 5 year mark, you really want to focus on being around and leading people. If you want to, and you don't have to, make sure that you're understanding good communication habits, creating rapport with your team, making friends, influencing people, and that you're able to lead that crew, because you're preparing to become a foreman if you want, right? And if you're going to prepare to be a foreman, it's all about leading that crew, and it's all about preparation, 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 preparation. So look at it like this. Everything you do needs to be kitted and prepared first, and then you go do it, and then you reflect. You prepare and kit it, you go do it, and then you reflect. And if you do that, you will really win. There's a book called Elevating Construction Foremen, also titled Elevating Construction Crew Leaders, where you can learn this and learn skills as a worker as well. I highly recommend them both. But the bottom line is, you can either progress into any position you want in that timeline that I gave you, anywhere from 3 to 6 months, and then 1 to about 1.5 years, 3 years, and get proficient within that 4-year time frame, and then go wherever you want, or stay there and become the best darn worker that you possibly can be. That means you're clean, that means you're safe, that means you're organized, that means you're proficient, that means you mentor, that means you teach, that means you're a good team player, that means you start improving every single aspect of your work, that means you take care of your body, you stretch, you take care of your health, and you create a sustainable environment. Because, and like I've said before, my dad was a ready mix driver. I'm a business owner. There is nothing better or worse about either of us, but he was the best damn ready mix driver, in my opinion, in the whole entire world. His truck was always clean. He was always on time. He was always organized. He was always an A driver. He was always helping people. So I don't care where you go, but wherever you do it excellently. And I hope this timeline has helped. I'm going to put this timeline into a blog post in the description below. I hope it helps you. If you're considering coming in, please be open to it, because there's so much potential in construction and we need you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.